it's Amber with Physique. I have decided to do a little documentary about me and my best friend Lisfranc. Okay, not really my best friend. In fact, she's my worst enemy. Wait, is she a she? No. It's actually named from, and don't make fun of my French here. I know very little, but his name is Jacques Lisfranc, and the injury came about, he's a doctor, and came about when people would get their foot caught in their stirrup from a horse and cause this injury. And the ultimate price for these people back then was to cut their foot off. At this point in my Lisfranc injury, I kind of wish they had, to be quite honest with you. It's been an up, down roller coaster for me, emotionally, physically, and it has drained me so many times throughout this whole ordeal. It happened back in, I think now it happened in June or July. I'm pretty sure it was June. On a Thursday, when I fell down my stairs, and I thought I was at the bottom of my stairwell, and in fact I was about 3 away from reaching the bottom when I fell. I fell landing on my knees. I had a nasty bruise on my knee, but my knees didn't hurt. It was all my foot, because my foot landed in this position. Okay, imagine my foot being bent back. It was late at night, so I walked it off. I walked to my bedroom, laid down, didn't think a thing about it until the next morning when I woke up. When I woke up, I felt a little bit of pain all through my body, because I was like traumatized. My back was hurting because of the way that I landed. I jarred like everything in there, and my foot killed. Okay, like I got up out of bed and I could not put any weight on it whatsoever. From that point on, I was like hopping around all over the house, and at that point I knew I needed to get in to see the doctor. So I made the appointment, but of course I couldn't get into the doctor until the following Monday. So I went from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then finally seeing the doctor Monday. Throughout that time, I was still doing boot camp out here in Santan Valley, and I continued to walk on it, and I taught myself how to walk on it without the pain. So I changed my gait in a bad way by walking on my foot on the inside so that it wouldn't hurt so much on the outside. Since then, when I went to the doctor, they took x-rays, didn't see anything that could be wrong going on in there. My doctor immediately says, it's a sprain. And I had the whole weekend to do a little self-diagnosing, which, by the way, you should not do. It drove me crazy trying to figure out what was wrong with myself and my foot. And I wanted to believe that it was something else, yet every sign led straight to Lisfranc. When I went into the doctor and I told him my concerns, because, you know, I know a little bit about anatomy. I mean, hello, it's what I do for a living. I gotta deal with the body. So I told him what I thought it was. He's like, no, it's not that. Okay, you're the doctor. So I was put in a boot, even though I knew myself. I even fought with the doctor. I said, you need to cast me. And through the pictures that you'll see here at the end, I wore that boot for like the first day. The next day it was off. I was like, screw this. If I have an option to take it off, I'm gonna take it off. And I did. And I continued to use my foot through boot camp. And I wasn't in that much pain. Like, it really wasn't so painful to where it was like I couldn't walk on it. It wasn't like that. It was I don't know, it was a different kind of pain. It was deeper than anything that I felt before. Right across the mid part of my foot. This is my foot, by the way, if you can't tell. Right across the mid part. That's where it was killer. Killed me so bad. But I pushed through. The very next day, when I wasn't wearing the boot, I went back to the doctor. They casted me, and that's when I got my first cast, which I chose black, of course, right? Seems obvious. And I was happy. You could tell from the pictures of the boot. So when I got my cast, I was much happier wearing a cast. I knew that I would heal more properly without having to guess, okay, is this boot on right? Do I have everything strapped on together? It was too much for me. The cast kind of took all of that away. And I stayed in that cast for a couple of weeks before it came loose. And during that time, I continued shooting my videos. Now, I shot videos for you guys well before I hurt my foot. However, I began getting extreme craziness. Like, everybody around the globe was checking me out because I had a cast on. And I thought, well, wow, okay, well, maybe this happened for a reason, and I'm supposed to be shooting these videos to help others that are injured. Okay, one, for instance, Tommy totally helped me through the whole process. He was messaging me night and day. Well, how do your toes look? Are they this swollen? Are they that swollen? Like, going blowing up my phone, asking me about a million questions about my injury. But it helped him get through his own. He had a broken foot. And even though I didn't break mine, I was still able to share the workouts and what I was going through with him, and it helped him tremendously. Now, he's totally fine. He's out of his cast, out of a boot, cycling, doing what he loves to do, and it's, I like to kind of take credit for some of that, So, I kept videoing and doing what I did because I was in a walking cast. I was able to do that. Okay, then after that, when it became too loose, I had to go back and I had to get another one. This time, I chose blue. The reason being, we were at the doctor's office and all three of my kids were there. I have a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old, yeah, he wanted purple. I'm like, I don't know about purple. My oldest says blue. I'm like, alright, let's go with blue. So, that's when I ended up with my blue cast, and I was still walking. It was a walking cast, and I was able to put all my weight down. Even though I was protected by the cast, I was still walking around. Now, the first time they put my blue one on, I went back probably about 4 hours later because it was already loose. I can't keep a cast on here. I just can't. I don't. Maybe the heat, I sweat too much and it just expands. I have no idea. I just can't keep it on. So, went back, had it recasted about 4 hours later. Again, I chose blue. And I was tempted, however, to choose orange. But then I was redirected from that choice by Eric. Thanks, Eric. He told me that I would look like a big pumpkin walking around. So I was like, don't want to do that. So back in the blue casting shoe or the blue cast with the casting shoe, and I sported that around for a while. Still doing boot camp. I was still able to move around. Once my 4 weeks was up with my cast, I went back in for a checkup, and I thought, okay, this is the day. I'm getting it off. No worries. I wasn't feeling any pain until it came off. And again, you guys will see video of the casting being taken off. My foot was more swollen than it was when I went in, and I felt so much pain without that cast that I could not move my foot either side, and I couldn't go up or down very much. The range of motion just wasn't there. So with that, he's like, it should be better by now, so let's send you for an MRI. Okay, off to the MRI I go. And I had the MRI done. The results came back as just a sprain. However, there was a sign that I had an avulsion fracture, a very small one, towards the bottom of my foot on the inside, which didn't quite make sense to me since my injury was right across the midfoot. But they didn't seem to think anything of it. I wasn't told to do anything but come back and be seen by an orthopedic surgeon. Now, at that time, we were about 7 weeks into my injury, and I was in so much pain walking around in the boot that they gave me back the boot that I told them I didn't want to begin with, and it wasn't doing me any good. It actually hurt me more than it helped me, so I took it off and I continued to walk around just like I did before, because I'm non-compliant. Sorry, that's just how I am. I'm just stubborn. I'm like, I'll do what I want. So this whole time, 7 weeks into it, have the MRI done, have these casts in the boot, and all of this going on. I couldn't wait until the 31st to go see the doctor. I mean, here it was like the 22nd or 20, I don't even know what day it was, but it was like 2 weeks out. And I thought, no, I'm not going to sit in pain for this long. And I'd kind of like a second opinion on this. So, went to another doctor. After I saw my second doctor, he immediately says, it's Lisfranc. And all sorts of emotions were running through me. I was pissed. I wasn't mad. I was pissed that this had gone undiagnosed for 7 weeks in a cast, in a boot. I was done. I was over it. And then he tells me, after he sees the x-rays, again, nothing is in the x-ray, that I need to be in either a boot or a cast for another 3 to 6 weeks. I'm thinking, are you serious? Like I said before, just cut it off. Do I really need this foot? Like, can I get a prosthetic? I mean, runners can run with a prosthetic. I mean, that's what I enjoy doing. And I was told to be non-weight bearing at that point. When I was told that, tears flew down my face. I was so upset. I went into depression. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to be around anybody. When you're knocked down like that, and I've said this in my videos before, when I was first put on non-weight bearing restrictions, when things knock you down like that, when you're used to doing something and being so active, it takes a toll on you. It was so emotional for me, and I didn't want to even do boot camp anymore. I was done. It was bad. It was a hard time for me. So I was in that cast for about a week. Once again, oh, that cast was purple, by the way. once again, it became too loose, and I wasn't able to wear it anymore. So they cut it off, and I didn't shoot video of that because I kind of thought it was outdated at that point. You've all seen a cast being removed from my previous post. So I had it taken off. I was put back in this boot, which supports me a lot better than the one that was put in before. The other one I had was a shorter boot. This one's longer, so it holds me steady. There's a little pump here. I don't know if you can see it. A little pump. If I need a little bit more air in it to support my foot. Remember those Reebok? Those Reebok pumps that everybody had to have? Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. But I sucked it up, and I, again, was non-weight bearing for about 3 more weeks. I went back to the doctor after 3 weeks. It was still bothering me, but this time I was told to wear the boot again for another 3 weeks, but this time I could put weight on it, which, as you already probably know, I was putting weight on before I went to the doctor. I might be prolonging my problem here, but again, it shouldn't have been misdiagnosed. So here we are, week 12 and a half, going on 13. Come Monday, this Monday, I go back. It still gives me a lot of pain. I've tried a shoe. He told me to, so I don't want to hear nothing. Don't shake your head at me. I was told to put my shoe on for like an hour or two to see how it felt. And when I did that, it was hurting me even more so than when I wear my little boot here. So I stayed swollen the rest of the weekend. This was last weekend. All weekend I was swollen, and things really aren't looking too good for me. I try to keep on the up and up, and I try to stay positive, but it is still very painful right where I injured it, and it's so painful to walk on it. So come Monday, if I'm still feeling pain like I am now, I'm being sent back for another MRI so that he can take a look at it. The MRI I had done before was from another doctor, and a different tech took a look at it. So he has people, I mean, he's a foot specialist. That's all he does. He's a surgeon. He knows his stuff. So if I get sent back, he'll be able to see exactly what's going on. I mean, I might have torn ligaments. I could have done a lot more damage than what was originally found due to walking on it too soon, as prescribed by the other doctor. So, cross fingers. I'm praying that everything goes well. I will keep you up to date, but I wanted to share my story with you. A lot of people don't know the whole story. They just know I fell downstairs. I mean, it's quite embarrassing. I should make up a better story. But things happen to people all the time, and I wanted to share that with you so that you know that you're not alone. If you go through something like this, I mean, you can persevere. I've done it, and I'm still doing it. So hang in there. Things do get better. I firmly believe that. And check out the pictures throughout my journey. You'll be able to see everything that I've been going through. So any questions or comments about this documentary, post it right below here. I want to hear what you have to say. Have you been going through the same thing? Do you struggle with depression from something else? It might not be an injury. Get in touch with me. I want to hear all about it. So check us out on Physique, on Facebook at Physique, and Twitter at Void Butterfly. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. Again, found at my my webpage on Facebook. So I enjoy doing these videos for you guys. I love doing what I do. I'm not going to stop regardless of what's going on. I mean, obviously, I give you week after week without fail. So there's always ways to modify. Just remember that. Alright, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you next time. Bye. This is my story of the Lisfranc journey. I was not happy about wearing this boot. The very next day, I was put in a cast. I couldn't let my girls down, so here we are working out. The black one was too loose, so here is the blue one. Four hours later, I'm out the door again, getting another one put back on. Taking a trip through the mall, my poor 10-year-old pushes his mom around. This was my karma. I made fun of her for falling down her stairs, and look what happened to me. Still training because nothing stopped me. In between my casts and MRIs, I thought I could drive the Beamer again, but nope. Here's the infamous scooter you guys have seen on YouTube. Once again, in the boot. Getting creative with my crutches since I was non-weight bearing. Last week trying the shoe back on, but that didn't go over well. Back to the boot. Through these battle scars, I persevere and get to see the end of the rainbow.